day. Just this past Friday through Sunday, 9 people were killed and 2 more were gunned down just hours later.
A 39-year-old woman was gunned down in a car. They say multiple shots were fired, but one hit and killed her.
Just recently, a pregnant 17-year-old girl was killed by a stray bullet through her living room window. Experiencing murders at a record level. In just 6 months, there have been 228
people were killed this year across a dozen neighborhoods in Chicago. And that is
officials say they're starting to notice that during this age, more and more students are turning to gangs.
To get a handle on in the city is an internal dispute in one of our gangs. It's the largest gang in the city.
Show you there are some areas where small children really do live, as we said, in a kind of battle zone.
Imagine this. So many times I've had to sit in front of a camera and pose. It was my mugshot.
You look back on it, it was so stupid, but at that time, in that moment, it seemed so right. You know, I'm just glad I made it all through that, you know? You know, at 15, I was a, roughneck, running wild. I fought my mom. Getting in that lifestyle just came from growing up in that neighborhood. Everything was just competitive. You know, even if we went to the park to hoop, it was competitive. And if we won or we bumped somebody too hard, they ready to fight, you know what I'm saying? Because they losing. So, it was just competitive.
My heroes were drug dealers. That's who I looked up to. When I'm like 9, 10 years old, I'm looking out the window. The guys outside with the loud music and the fancy rims, and the jewelry, and all the girls like them. Those were my heroes, and those were the people I looked up to.
I grew up in the time of racism where, it was normal for a black dude to go to jail, period. You know what I'm saying? It was gonna happen sooner or later. I was coming into that moving fast. Where the dope at? I wanna sell dope. I wanna be like this. Nobody better not bother us. When you coming up and you in that era, you in that world, it's about power and respect. That's the field I fed off into.
A lot of the things we did, the way we was living, we thought it was normal. Now that I'm not in it and I look back, I'm like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? We were animals.
I didn't meet Mike until an incident he had with one of my cousins.
I got into a bad altercation. This guy tried to kill me on my 33rd birthday, and my friend killed him. And we turned ourselves in the next morning for murder. And basically, I knew my life was over then, and his life was over then, and it was over. You know, Eugencio, I tell him all the time that he changed my mom's life, but he didn't know it and she didn't know it. But I'm my mom's only son. And Eugencio's family wants me dead because of his cousin that died that night. Eugencio tried to kill me twice, and we ended up going to prison. And when we got out of prison, both of us had decided to change our life, but not seeing each other or talking to each other, we ended up in college, in this college together in the same class. And he knew who I was, but I didn't know who he was.
So I was gonna hit my peoples up and say, you know what, I'm in class with that dude, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't. I didn't because I just didn't want to wake them inner demons up in them that hadn't been, that's been laying low.
So he could have had me killed then. The decision that he made was he told the professor, Mr. Bailey, who y'all talk to, he told him about us.
I'm not finna bother this guy. I'm finna stay on track. I'm not finna lose my focus because I ran into an old opposition, and I just stayed on track. And the guy started talking to me and everything, and he didn't even know who I was.
And then he tapped me one day, and we had been sharing homework together, doing all kinds of stuff. And he was like, you don't know who I am, do you? And I said, no, what's up?
And I ended up telling him, it's me, it's Big B,
And I was just like, he said, don't worry, man. He said, man, we not beefing no more. He said, I've been watching you in class. He said, I'm glad I didn't kill you. I said, I'm glad you didn't kill me too.
This time where I meet Mike, I feel like I'm glad I met him now because he's a great guy. I can forgive him for the roles he played and what happened, and I can grant him love and hope that we can show another kid some example on, it's cool to let your guard down as long as the other guy that you communicating with on a positive note.
And look at what we doing now. We in college acing our class. He said, I know. So I told Mr. B, I said, Mr. B, that guy right there, me and him got a history. Mr. B said, Mike, don't worry, I already know. He told me everything. And then he told me I didn't have to worry, and we've been cool ever since. And Mr. B, he like some kind of visionary, because he's the reason we're here today, because he was like, you two used to be gangsters, dealing drugs and shooting. And we was like, yeah. And he said, now y'all in my class, and y'all both acing in college? We was like, yeah. He said, this story needs to be told. One time when I was in prison, they used to make us go to classes like this, similar to this. And I would look at the speakers, and I would be sitting there going, man, I would love to do that one day, you know? But never thinking I would ever get the chance, though. I would love to be able to share this story and this being on this with all of the young people that's out there doing bad, you know? Try to show them a different way, you know, that they don't have to do what we thought we had to do.
Peace During War just came. You know, Mike was like, you know, we would call it Peace During War because me and you doing something positive in the time of all this honor going on between the two families and friends, you know, the two towns.
People call us and we go to the high schools and we talk to the young people, the youth, about this gun violence. You know, we've experienced it, we've did it, we lived it, and we survived it. So we felt like we had a right to, not only a right, but an obligation to try to give back to the communities and to try to save some kids' lives. It takes less than a second to pull that trigger and change everybody's life. That's an improper faction. It don't add up. But one decision that you make that only take a nanosecond, bah! And all of a sudden, you will never be the same.
You under rules and guidelines. So what about your rules and guidelines? You understand me? You as a person, you got to have your own rules and guidelines. That set up your standards and morals, man.
Oh, you big to be 50. What the hell is in the food around? You know what I'm saying? We have to recognize these things, you know what I'm saying, and start to correct them and change them, because, man, you'll be surprised what a look could do. You know, that simple. That's how powerful y'all are. Y'all can actually change the world.
I don't got the answer for everything, but what I do want you to do is get a hold of yourself, you know, and understand that what you're doing right now, don't let that dictate what you're gonna be tomorrow in your future. You know what I'm saying? We was just doing something to reach out to these kids, man, and let them know, man, there's still some real guys around, man. I didn't know I had this in me, but working with him and working with Mr. Bailey, I'd have molded myself into really adapting and being in love with this feeling and being in love with this situation on what we're doing, you know what I'm saying? I want to thank you. Since you and Too Short been coming, my weeks are better. It feels so good to talk to someone from the streets, someone who knows. You guys give me a feeling that someone cares. I am very grateful for your time when you came through. I have had a messed up life while growing up. You made me feel like family. I feel like you care about where I go in life. I am very grateful. That's from my partner, Eric, man. Hard knock life, you know, the streets kind of, you know, messed him up at a young age, and he did some things where he had to pay the price. And as he paid that price, he found a road to redemption and became a better man. We like a year into the session of our program that we've been doing here, working with the kids. We've been to like half a dozen schools, interacting with the youth.
We're moving forward with this thing, man. You know, what once was an idea is turned into something real, you know, and I feel like Peace During War is really touching kids, and my dream is for us to touch kids all over the country, you know what I'm saying? Right now we local, you know, we done touched some lives already, you know, really, we've made some progress. If we don't make no other progress from now on, we
start from the bottom.
We making progress anyway.
You can still talk about it if you want to, and they just holding that and held that inside until they, you know, until they linked up with us. And when they linked up with us and they was comfortable enough to let us know what was going on in their mind, they was wishing for death and wishing for not to wake up the next day. And when we came into the picture, you know, all that got relapsed and put on hold, and it was just like, you know, I'm not even gonna work that way.
They was looking forward to seeing us, like in a moment where they sad all the time, they was happy when we came. For that 1 or 2 hours, we made them kids happy, man. You guys were actually a father figure to me that I always wished I had. Once again, thank you for everything. You taught me that what you do now doesn't have to be what you do forever. I hope everything gets worked out so you guys can come back to us. Hannah.
That's great, man. I hope they let us back in.
Man, you know what? They can't stop this train, man. You know what I'm saying? We be back.
All we bring to the table is another way. Don't fall in love with the act of being somebody that you're really not, just because you feel like you got a responsibility that's titled to you. Let's use our head, man, because we can change this up.
That's why peace during war, you know, we finna break that cycle. You know what I'm saying? By any means necessary, we finna break that cycle.
Man, I'm proud of you, man.
For me, peace during war, I associate it with love. Without love, how can we stop war? Teach one another how to love each other. So easy to hate each other. So easy to be angry and want to do something violent.
It seems like when you're doing negative, you got so many people around you that's doing the same thing, you really can't see. And you can't see because all y'all really lost in the fall. If all of us blind, who gonna be the leader?
I think it's the easy way out. Be angry, easy way out. Beat somebody up, shoot somebody, easy way out. It's hard to say, you know what? I'm gonna love that person that did something wrong to me. I'm gonna love that person. Step away from the smoke and let that clear in your life. People dying, killers going to prison. Everybody losing. Everybody's losing.
And when you find different or when you change your lane and you want different, you know you won't strive for that.
People used to associate me with thinking that I won in my situation because one person died and I lived. And I live to let people know that I firmly believe in my heart that no one won in my situation. There was no winners out there. We all lost out there. Everybody lost. And we continue to lose as long as we embrace that lifestyle.
So whether it be somebody you know that you beefing with that you really ain't with it no more, whether it be just within yourself or your family or your friends, you know what I'm saying? You just want that peace during that time of war, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be another lost soul.
My peace during war is to just try to spread peace through my communities, throughout the country, throughout the world, and just, you know, just exude more peace than war. That's what I want.
That's that peace that I want, and that's that peace that I want to help deliver, you know, and that's my peace during war. I can only hope, you know, that they gain something, because I'm not around to tell them what to do in life, but I am around to help them, help guide them, you know, on better decisions and understanding that life ain't just a mile radius block. This block we living on, this hood we living in, you got a whole world to play with. When you get educated and create options, you learn the stuff that see fit for a world. You can fit into society. I'm trying to catch them at like 13, 14, 7th, 8th grade, because like you can look at youth and say, that's a future doctor, that's a future lawyer, that's a future police officer, and we got to save them. We got to stop them, you know, early in life. I just want to rebuild the world that I helped destroy.
Keep your hands raised and praise to God's grace. Don't be afraid to embrace your faith. Keep your hands raised and praise to God's grace. Don't be afraid to embrace your faith. Keep your hands raised and praise to God's grace. Don't be afraid to embrace your faith. Keep your hands raised and praise to God's grace. Don't be afraid to embrace your faith. Trying to figure out where I was born. Was it to be a pillar to my mother or a thorn? She raised me good, gave me what she could, made sure right from wrong I understood. But something was missing, I was wishing I had more. Money or love at the time, I wasn't sure. Affected at birth by a father who didn't want me. Visions of my mother being beat still haunt me. For 6 years, I was my mother's